All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Taiwo. I'm here to talk about the most boring thing ever, microcontrollers. So the topic is getting started with MicroPython and microcontrollers. What is MicroPython? What are microcontrollers? Let's go. So microcontrollers are they're like credit card sized computers. We have computers everywhere now. Yes, we have them in the form of credit cards, and they also cost very, 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 very cheap. They're like $1 per microcontroller, and they're able to do a lot of interesting things. So they contain what your conventional computer contains: the CPU, the memory, the input, the out, stuff like that. But historically, we've never had computers this cheap, and now we do. So why microcontrollers? Why do we have them, and what are they used for? They're used for a lot of things, but most importantly, how do we get them to do what we want? Like Kirk said, I love Go, I love TypeScript. A lot of microcontrollers do not love that, and that is quite understandable because when you're within limited memory and uh, and speed, CPU, you need to be mindful of what you use. So we use C, and we all know why C is so interesting. Whatever you want to get done, you get it done. There's not so much memory problem and stuff like that. But at this point, C isn't what everyone likes to write. I don't like to write C. I write it, but I don't like to write them. And I can say the same thing about everybody else. So C is not the best with regards to the fact that it gets crazy complex fast. You have to compile it. And then safety and C, you do not really want to talk about them in the same sentence. So we need something, we need something that is much more like JavaScript. We need something that is much more not C-like. And that is where MicroPython comes in. And it has a lot of advantages with regards to the fact that MicroPython is Python written in C. Is that right? Not really. It's like a subset of Cython, C Python, C-based Python. So we're able to leverage on the higher level of Python and get it to do the work of C. Now, how do you do that? I believe you can see this on the screen. Like, okay, how are you flying? Well, Python. And that's because things that are historically very, very hard to do with C become very, very easy to do with Python. And you can literally fly by just importing fly and flying. And that goes for every other thing that you want to do on the microcontroller. Do you want to send something to the server? Do you want to trigger something with your microcontroller? Do you want to turn on a light? Do you want to do IoT? Do you want to make a phone? Whatever you want to make, your imagination is basically your limit. So the advantages of MicroPython, like I said, is number one, it's much more intuitive, easier to write, and it's fun. And we also get to leverage in a lot of libraries in a very, very easy way. So how fast it is, because Python and speed too, just like C and safety, Python and speed is not one of the things that you want to talk about in the same sentence. But this is actually quite fast because of what I said before. It is based on Cython, which is like Python based, built upon C. And then we're able to do a lot of things without actually doing compilation. So the magic itself, it's very, very deep. I doubt if I even understand it, but I know for sure that it is so fast that you have like a real-time console thingy on a microcontroller that usually will require compilation. So it is very, very fun. And I believe at this point, a lot of you are going to start asking, what am I supposed to do with all of this information? Like, why are you telling me about microcontrollers? Why are you telling me about computers that are sold for like $1? Well, like I said, your imagination is the limit. What do you have in mind that you want to make? There are a lot of things that you can make. And right on my screen, we have that's actually cool. We have the vibranium-ish suit, and all of the color, the lighting is done by Micropython-based microcontrollers. And as you can see, there's an Iron Man prop. All of these are for cosplays, but I believe this can also transition from being solely for cosplay into something else. For example, I think I know someone who made a foot keyboard, which means that you can do some macro level things without actually pressing it. Like, for example, you want to switch to Slack, just use your left foot, or you want to switch to Google Meet, Zoom, lift the other one. And like I said, your imagination is simply the limit. You can make a musical instrument. You can feed your cat. That can be your cat. It can be Pip or Tom or Ginger. Any cat. You can do anything really. And that is a little bit scary, but also very, very interesting. So all in all, hardware historically has been hard to get into and even much more harder to sustain. But now MicroPython is able to help us to get to that utopian city easily. And I believe this is just enough for you to check out some resources online and probably reach out to me if you want to get started. Like I said, very, very cheap. $1, you will get a MicroPython support TED board, and before you know it, you're going to be making flying cows and talking cats and stuff like that. Thank you very much, everyone. Kirk, are you there?